Hi guys, this is Juno and welcome back to another Summoners War video. Today I have a different video that I haven't done for a very long time. I actually think this is the second time I'm doing a tier list, and this tier list is to determine which AoE damage dealer is best for my second turn team. Hey guys, before we start the video, if you guys are interested in getting advice and help from me and other Summoners War players, feel free to join my Discord, where the link is in the descriptions below. Also, if you enjoy my content and want to support me, become a Patreon, where the link for it is also in the descriptions. I want to say I appreciate all the support, and believe me, I really do. Anyways, that was it. Let's get back to the video. Everybody here now knows that I use a specific second turn team a lot, and that is the Leo Galleon Delphoi. Yeah, the Leo Galleon Delphoi. I use that offense the most against a lot of G3 defenses, for me getting G3 almost every week. A lot of people come back to me and ask, oh, can the Linda be replaced with this? Can the Zeros be replaced with this? Or what can replace the damage dealer, because I don't have that. And I do give out some examples, but I think it'll be nice to clear up what might be the best. And please note, the units that are in the candidate section are the units that I have. And the units that I'm not talking about that are really good with AoE damage are units that I don't have. For example, the Ongyoki, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but the Dark Onimusha, and then the Hanur, the Light Art Master, the Lucifer, which is good in a specific second turn team, which is technically a first turn team because you always move first with Leo Lucifer. The Lydia. Lydia is awesome in second turns, but I don't have a Lydia, so that sucks. The Tebe, I think Tebe could work. I forgot the Light Dragon, the Dark Dragon, Manananan, the Asima. I think these are all great units for a second turn team, but I can never speak to them because I don't have them. Because of that, the 15 units, I believe, the 15 to 16 units that I have up on candidates are the ones I'm gonna grade. So let's see which AoE damage dealer I think is the best out there. So let's start from the very first, which is the Zeros. So I know Zeros does not really go into this team that I just said. I usually use him with Tiana, Galleon, and then a Punk Back. But that doesn't mean that he can't work as a sole damage dealer. Yes, it will get harder as you go up the ranks because the units are simply way too tanky. So maybe a sole damage dealer is not enough. But in lower ranks, I am pretty sure the Zeros can do more than enough as a solo damage dealer, because his skill 3 does a reset, and I hope you land it, and his skill 2 is another AoE damage skill. So he also has a attack lead, which is good, which will get more damage. My Zeros that's currently being used with Tiana does like 20 to 30k damage, but it's a fast Zeros. Imagine how much he could do as a slow Zeros that's focused all on damage and some tankiness. So I'm not going to put him in the best category, but I'll put him in good, because he doesn't have any mechanics where he gains another turn or anything like that. I mean, he does have the reset, that's why he's good, but again, I don't know the full damage potential. I have never tried him myself in the slow team, so I can't really speak to him. But just from his kit, I think he is a good AoE damage dealer that you could use in a slow team with his arena lead and so on. Belanus. I think Belanus is also in the good tier. He has his own setup. That's the only reason he's good, I think. To be honest, his damage multipliers are a little low. Again, I haven't tried him in a full damage build, meaning without any speed, but with speed, it looks like he doesn't do a lot. So I'm gonna assume that he does less than the Zeros, but he doesn't have anything like the reset cooldown reset or anything like that. I mean, he has a provoke and he has some dots defense break, but the defense break is already coming in from the Galleon, so then additional defense break is already lost. It's not that needed. So maybe Xerath could go up to great, and then the bonus could come down to good. Now the Acmir is probably like an entry level AoE damage dealer, because simply he does not fit with the team. His arena lead is a speed lead, which you do not need with the Leo offense. And his AoE skill 3 does more damage with more debuffs. But really, there's only going to be one debuff, and that's going to be a defense break. So I'm going to assume that his damage is not going to be that high. Just because of that, he's good. But if you want to use him in the fast team, I think he'll do much better. Or maybe a different team with more setup. Now, Kaki is great because he's easy to rune. And I think he is one of the best units that you could use as an arena, as an AO unit. I would probably rune him up on triple attack or HP attack, because you do need some HP, you need some tankiness. Like I said, whenever I advocate for second term Leo, Galleon, Delphoid teams, you need to be able to survive the first turn from the opponent. So just by the fact that he's easy to rune and give him a fatal build, and that those are some early runes, right? Who uses fatal on, or who farms for fatal runes later on? But in the early game state, fatal runes are probably one of the most prominent runes that you have, and he's so easy to rune. He does so much damage, so I think he is fit to go in great. But later on, I'd actually think his damage will die down and not do as much. Again, he doesn't have a cooldown reset, or he does not proc. So let's put actually him in, he's actually good. So other than the fact that he's easy to rune, he doesn't have anything in the kit that helps him. Suiki, same thing. Actually, he probably does less damage than the Kaki. Due to the fact that you're going second turn, you are getting some benefits from his passive, but at most, if the opponent doesn't proc, he will get less than 10 stacks, which is half of the max damage that he could do, right? Because he could get to 20 to 25 stacks. And unless the game goes long, his damage potential is half of what he could do at max. So that's why he's good. But again, if you don't have any of the first 3 units, I would use him because he's easy to rune. Now Peng Bek is great. I think Peng Bek is great. Another unit that does a whole lot of damage. I currently use him in a fast team, and he still does 40 to 50k on units, on squishier units, like a Molly or sometimes a Triana, depending on how they're runed. And then you get to splash that damage across the board. And I think that's a really cool mechanic with his skill. So I think he is a great second turn unit. He doesn't need speed or anything. Yes, he does not have any reset or something like that. But the fact that he can do that AoE splash damage, depending on who you hit first, and if you kill it, that's a lot. But there is that condition that it has to do a lot of damage and kill the first unit. For example, I think the best one to hit is probably like a Samath, because Samaths are usually not that tanky. They're really squishy. So if you use, let's assume that I have a Peng Bek that's going second turn, I think I can make it hit like 60k, 65k maybe. That will get splashed across the board, 40k probably, and that will probably wipe them out. Next, the Christina, and you guys all know what I'm going to say. She is the best, one of the best second turn units. I don't care what the haters say. I don't know why haters are still hating on this unit. Like, this is one of the units that I use the most to get my first G3, and one of the units I use the most to even get G3 today. She just destroys tanky units, and she's on mediocre runes. I mean, mine's on a vampire set, guys. Mine's on a vampire set, mediocre, not like crazy damage, but she still easily does 50 to 60k. So what's the point of having Halfist? What's the point of having Abelios? They just get destroyed. They're gone. The Mollies, I mean, she doesn't glance anymore, so it's easier to crit. Just keep in mind, just because that she doesn't glance doesn't mean that you don't have to give her crit rate, because it only means that she can't glance. There's still that middle ground where it's not a crit rate, it's not a crit, and it's not a glance. It's just like a regular hit. So you have to still give her good crit rate. Just keep that in mind. But trust me, she is a really good unit. She's my bae. I use her all the time. Halfist is like a joke in arena defense with her against the right team. So you have to make sure for these second turn teams, the opponent doesn't bring in like Will or anything like that. If they do, then you can't really bring in this offense. Alicia, I tested her out today and I think she's good. She's pretty great. The fact that if she freezes or kills somebody with skill 3, she gets a skill 2. But one downside is that her skill 2 damage is a little mitigated because it is based off of the opponent's speed, and due to the fact that you have Leo on your team, meaning that their speed is really low. But still with that, my skill 2 did like 18 to 20k, and that's apart from skill 3 that did like 40, 50k damage. So I really like her. She has a 44% attack lead, and I think that's also awesome. So if you guys have the Alicia, try it out. Now these two units I have to test. I think they'll be good. I really want to try out Beth. I really want to see if she could work with the team that I'm kind of thinking of. Just by the fact that she destroys a lot of HP, I think that's already awesome. So I want to try her out. I really want to try her out and see what happens. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. And same with the Varad. I know that Rage Varad used to do a lot of damage, but a lot of damage meant like 30, 40k, I think. I don't really recall, so I have to test him out again, especially with the buff from skill 2. Now you can make it a 2-turn freeze. So once that happens, I think you're controlling the match, and there's no way for the opponents to come back unless they proc to like a Molly cleanse or something like that. But nonetheless, I still have to test them out and see how it goes. Changpeng, funny, works as a second turn team. You could make him a damage dealer going last, but this build really then constrains him to be used in AO only. Like we're gonna use him if he's super slow with like plus 20 speed. You can't use him anywhere else. So I actually think that he's not good, so I will just leave him out. We all know that Lucian is a great AoE damage dealer that ignores defense, but with the rise of mollies and with artifacts that reduce damage from wind, you really can't do much with one Lucian. And my fat Lucian does like 50 something k damage, and people still survive from that. Well, assuming they don't have the damage reductions. If they do, my Lucian will do a lot less. So he's not that great anymore, so I'll just put him in good. And you could try him out if you want to on the second turn team, but just keep in mind in the second turn team, you have to give Lucian speed. You have to give Lucian HP as well, because you don't want him to die. And by doing that, then his damage will go down. So I don't think he's really that great. So just good. Bale is probably one of the best. He has a great arena lead with 55% accuracy, which allows your Galleon to be only 45% accuracy. And then you could focus more HP, more resistance, more damage on your Galleon. So he could work as a damage dealer too. And he also has a skill 3 where he gets elemental advantage against all elements. So you just have to give him 85% crit rate, and he will act like he has 100 crit rate when using skill 3 against anybody. And then after that, with skill 2, he also has an AoE that does a lot of damage. So his kit is just great. It's similar to Alicia. Actually, I'll just put it like this. He's great. He's not as good as Christina because he doesn't bring out that crazy damage. He can't go into half-assists most likely because he doesn't do 60k, but he's still an awesome unit. Nobody's coming to Christina's level really in damage wise. Yeah, nobody's coming close. Now here are the two samurais. I know samurais are both good. I know their damages aren't that great, and I'll have to test them out to actually see. So let's try them out. But they both have two AoE skills, skill 3 and 4, that does a good amount of damage. It's just that skill 3 needs to come and then skill 4 comes. So that's the problem, right? Finally, the Linda. The Linda is also a great unit, especially against the passives that we see that is so prominent in arena defense these days, which is with the Nanas, which is with Samath, which is with Vanessa. And if you use the Linda correctly, you won't have to deal with those. So I think Linda fits really well in today's arena meta, and I will gladly put her in the great position. So this is my tier list. This is my tier list. Please let me know if you agree or disagree. But there's a reason why it's like this. Christine is just the best because she does the most damage. No one comes close. At least with the units that I have. From the LD Nat 5, probably Lydia could come close or even do more because her passive is just that good. But other than that, from the regular elements, Christina easily doing 60k, 50, 60k with the vampire set that I have is just insane. Just insane. And then in the great category, I explained why. It's just that Zeras has a good passive, has a good skill 3 with cooldown reset, a good attack lead, 2 AoE attacks, so that's awesome. Pungbek also a very high damage skill 3, and that gets splashed to other units. It's just that it's conditional, so you do have to kill off the first unit, and it has to go on a unit that has fairly low defense, because if they have more defense, the damage get reduced more, and the splash damage is that much less. Alicia, a great arena lead, 44% attack, and then a skill 3 that connects to skill 2 is awesome. Just remember, you can't bring these units into like Triana, because Triana will steal the turn if she does not die, so the Alicia won't be able to use skill 2. Bale, again, awesome arena lead. Some people might look down on accuracy lead, but if you're using a Galleon, accuracy leads are great. The fact that you could ruin your Galleon with less accuracy and focus on more damage or more tankiness is awesome. And then finally, the Linda, that has an awesome skill 3 that fits really well in today's meta, defenses with speed defenses. Samath, Nana, and Vanessa. It's just awesome. It's just great. Good is units that work but probably don't do enough damage, or the kit just doesn't bring in enough. So that's the good. And the bottom need to test is something that I have but I never tried before. I just know the theory of it, so I know that I'll have to give the Verad a rage will build with really high defense to see how much damage he does. But the kit wise, I think it fits really well, and he also has a horrible base speed, so making him go slow is not a bad idea. Beth with the HP destroy HP, and then that connects to a skill 2 AoE. It could work. I think she'll need really nice runes, so I'll have to check with that. She also has a good tanky HP lead for arena, so that will help with second turn as well. These two, I think I have one of them for sure. I don't know if I have the other one, the dark one, but I know they do have a AoE skill 3 and then an AoE skill 4 that are unique to the samurais. I just don't know the multipliers and don't know how much damage they'll do, so that's why I put it on need to test. But that was it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys now know if there are some other units that you could use for the second turn damage dealers. I think all the units here will work in your level depending on the rune quality that you have. But yeah, I hope it helped. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.